is up, everybody? My name is Mitchell Brewer of Black Hat Sports, and today we have something special for you. We had the opportunity to chat with ARCA Menard Series rookie, the driver of the number 30 Rhett Jones Racing Ford, Frankie Muniz. It was a very, very fun conversation talking to him about the transition from the bright lights of Hollywood to the bright lights of Elko Speedway and all the other great racetracks on the ARCA Menard Series schedule. So, without further ado, here is Frankie Muniz. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Excited that I was just in the car, a week ago. It's the first time this season that we didn't have like a long 2-3 week break or longer. So it's nice to kind of keep the ball rolling, momentum. Every time I'm in the car, I still have a ton to learn. So it's nice that it's fresh in my mind what we did last week. And not that this place is similar, because Berlin is really unique in itself, but another short track, and hopefully we'll be better. I hope,
So what kind of goes through your mind when, like, after you've been to like the Daytonas, the Talladegas, the Phoenixes, all of a sudden now you're in Berlin, Elko? It's kind of got to be a little bit of an adjustment for you.
Well, I think that's one really cool thing about this series is that we race at the super speedways, the pinnacle of motorsports, Daytona and Talladega and Charlotte Motor Speedway, Phoenix, and then you come to these small tracks like Elko, Berlin. We've got dirt tracks, we've got road courses. So as far as like all around, ARCA hits everything, which I think makes the series pretty unique. My stock car racing career this is my 10th oval race ever. You know what I mean? I did a few late model races last year, and then what we've done so far in the ARCA series. So everywhere I go is new. I've never been to, I've been to Mid Ohio, which we're at next, which is hopefully I can capitalize on that. But no, I didn't know what racing on a short track would be like. I've heard everybody talking, oh, short track racing is so fun, blah, blah, blah. It is a whole different beast. You're going much slower, but you feel like you're going 1,000 times faster, right? Because everything just comes at you so bad. You can barely get the power down because there's so much power and lots of wheel spin, and there's no break, right? There's no straightaway for you to kind of breathe before you go into the corner again. Like you're always constantly kind of in a battle.
Yeah.
But I love it. If I want to make it in this world of NASCAR and stock car racing, like I've got to be good on the short tracks. I got to be good on the super speed. I got to be good on all of it. So that's what I'm trying to perfect.
You mentioned kind of the learning curve with this all. What would you say has been the biggest learning thing that you've had this season?
I think because I have race experience 14 years ago when I raced in Atlantics and did the open wheel stuff. But that's such a different form of racing, even the style of racing, the racecraft, the types of tracks you're on, everything about it. So I think the biggest thing has been learning the racecraft, right? How to set up passes, how to, you got to kind of plan everything, not so far ahead, but like it takes a while to get by, right? You got to work on them and for such a long time. I think the biggest place I'm struggling right now is the starts, the restarts and starts. The first couple races, I was spinning the tires so much, I would lose so much. Where at Berlin, I didn't have a problem with that, but I wasn't as aggressive, I guess, going through 1 and 2, and I just got driven by like I was standing still. So I take all that in because I spent so much of last week's race trying to get back by guys that probably shouldn't have gotten by me, or I should have been more aggressive in the start. So that's my goal for this week. Obviously, I want to keep doing what I've been doing in the sense that I've been finishing races. We haven't been bad. We haven't had, my worst finish was Daytona, which was 11. So I'm, knock on wood, hopefully that trend keeps going. But now I'm to the point where I feel like I belong in the top 5. So I'm even getting hard on myself. Where I used to be, when I first finished at 6 at Phoenix, I was like, I never thought this would ever happen. Now I'm like, finished 6 at Berlin. I'm like, nah, I need more.
Yeah, and one of the things that is often like criticized about kind of this developmental style racing, whether it's ARCA or even like the truck series, is the aggressiveness.
Yeah. How
do you balance learning and trying to learn as much as you possibly can while having like that perfect amount of aggressiveness where it's not like overkill?
Well, there's that fine line, right? I can't be mad at my performance so far this year. I'm not saying I exceeded my expectations, but I didn't know what to expect going into it. I don't think many people considered me a contender. They thought maybe I'd just show up and run, and maybe I even thought that myself. I knew I had race experience, but I knew it was going to be a tough learning experience. Where now I feel like I'm a contender, but at that same time, there's that fine line of what. Sorry to finish that. What's made me a contender is that I've been there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I finished every lap. You know what I mean? I've been able to run full race distances to continue to learn and develop and kind of feel what the tires do and what changes this makes, or this type of pass, or passing lap traffic. That was a big thing. Like, you know, at Berlin, you're basically passing lap traffic all the time, and I had to get more and more aggressive throughout the race of just doing it, like not thinking, what are they going to do? They know I'm there, like a tiptoeing around. You just got to go, because the other guys did. The other guys in front of me, they went. The guys behind me, they go. They don't have that. Maybe they don't think of it as risky because they've done it maybe so much more in their career. But there's that fine line. There's a lot of young people, I think, in this series, or even in these development series, or even like the NASCAR Weekly Series and the late models and all that. They have speed, but maybe they're overly aggressive, and it gets them into trouble or gets people mad at them. You know what I mean? I want people to respect me as a driver, but I also want them not to fear me, but like to know that I'm not going to be a pushover, right? Like, so you got to be aggressive enough to where they don't take advantage of your conservativeness. I don't know what it is. So, but that's what I'm trying to find still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that I'm not going to name names. So there's some people in this series that I know can put in a really good lap, but I don't want to be around them on the racetrack because they're kind of a weapon. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair. And obviously, it's been, so far, I'd say, a pretty successful season for you. Maybe not, like, wins top five wise, but you're second in points, which I think is a lot more than maybe some would expect. How does that feel for you?
I mean, it feels amazing. I'm putting in a lot of work in and outside the car. You know, the only thing I wish I got to do more was be in a race car more, because my only days I've been in a race car this entire year are the ARCA days. You know, where I know Jesse Love, who is leading the championship, he's in a truck one weekend, he's in a sprint car, he's in a dirt car. Like, he's always constantly working inside a race car, which you're obviously going to get better the more you get to do it. So I do wish I got to do that different, but as far as like prep, training in the gym, you know, simulator time, all that kind of stuff, like I'm doing everything I can to be as ready as I can be. That said, it feels good to see the results, right? To see that I'm second in points, and to be a contender, it motivates me more, because rather than being like, I don't know if I belong, now I feel like I belong. I'm coming here with a different mindset. Like, I'm coming here, you know, expecting to be in the top 5 this weekend, you know, and I think you have to have that. And maybe it should switch to where I expect to win, but I know that's a whole nother level. Let me make this the top 5 jump, and then we'll talk about wins. You know, we've got a lot of races this year, and I don't think I'm anywhere near my peak. You know, there's times I still get in the car, and I still have to, at Berlin, they closed pit road and they need us to reverse. I've never put the car in reverse. I was like, I don't even know how to get in reverse. You know, like dumb things like that. Like, that's how new I am at this. That, like, I don't even know what the switches do. Mm-hmm. You know,
it's all learning.
Yeah. So you know, but I'm getting better and better. I think. I hope.
And I know you kind of made a couple of comments about this last week, but what does kind of the future of Frankie Muniz in stock car racing kind of look like as of right now? I mean, I know it's a loaded question for you.
No, my plan is to definitely, I want to race for as long as possible. I'm old getting back into this sport. I'm 37 years old. Like, I think if I do trucks next year, I'll probably be the oldest rookie ever. If I did Xfinity, I'd be the oldest rookie. If I did Cup, I'd probably be the oldest rookie ever. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a fact, but I'm just assuming, because most kids start, you know,
they're so young,
16, 17, 18, you know, they move, you know, they're old when they were talking about Josh Berry being old and moving the Cup. Well, he's 10 years younger than me. I don't know. I think he's 30 or something. But that said, like, I want to do this. Like, I love it. Of all the things I've done in my life, I feel like when I put the helmet on and I put the visor down, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? And that feels good to feel like this is what I was made to do. Maybe other people don't agree with that yet. You know what I mean? Maybe they see me more as an actor because that's what they grew up watching me do. But I feel like I was born to be a race car driver. That's what I want to do. So I know I'll be racing next year. You know, exactly what and where. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of discussion, but we're still trying to iron all that out. But I'm having the time of my life and want to just continue learning this year, so that whatever I'm in next year, I can and just go 100%. It's not a learning year, right? It's a let's go and fight for wins and everything.
And this last question, it's kind of a cheesy one, so I apologize.
Okay.
But when I was at Vegas earlier this season, I saw a dad and his 3 sons all wearing Frankie Muniz shirts.
Really?
And I couldn't help but think of the Malcolm in the Middle episode where Hal drags the kids to the racetrack and points to Malcolm and be like, hey, there's Rusty Malcolm. That's who you're named after. I just want to know, like, obviously you're well known before getting into ARCA. What's it like to have kind of that, like, reception from the fans where it's been, I'd say, mostly welcoming for you?
Honestly, I've done a lot of cool things in my life. I've been very, very fortunate, and I'm super grateful for that. The coolest thing that I've ever experienced is showing up to a racetrack and seeing people wearing my shirts.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me, because, you know, this is me taking a leap in a sense, right? Like to go out of my, not out of my comfort zone, but like to do something different, right? And the fact that people have been so receptive and accepting of it, I love that, obviously. But, you know, I don't know. It's one of the greatest feelings I ever had. I don't remember where I first went. It was at Daytona. The first race of the season, I was walking through, like, the Cup garage, and this lady had a Muniz Racing shirt on. And I was like, it was the coolest thing in the world, you know. But hopefully we'll see a lot more of them.
And that was Frankie Muniz. Again, I want to thank him for his time this past weekend at Elko Speedway. He will be back in action alongside with the rest of the ARCA Menards series here in a couple of weeks on July 7th at Mid-Ohio Sports Course. That race will be televised on FS1. But for all of the latest NASCAR, ARCA, SRX, motorsports news, be sure to follow us on Black Cat Sports right here on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Black Cat Sports, Instagram Black Cat Motorsports, and we hope you have a great rest of the week. My name is Mitchell Brewer, signing off.